Sometimes when we are feeling a little bit dejected by the swings in Tesla stock or the low value compared to some other time in history, it might be wise to contemplate just where Tesla fits on the world stage as of this minute. As Tesla just enters into the 100 billion revenue club, has earnings about the same as Ford and GM and considerably less earnings than Toyota, Mercedes, BMW, or VW, they are ranked at number 8 in market cap in the world. This is Randy Kirk. You know what to do. Hit the like, hit subscribe, hit notify. You want to be reminded of tonight, later on this afternoon, tonight, whatever time it'll be for you. We will have our regular, what it's normally a Sunday night program for Monday morning. I call it Monday morning. This time we'll call it Tuesday morning because it'll be on Monday night, talking about what's going to be coming up this week in terms of government reporting, other kinds of things that might be impacting the stock market in terms of both the overall economy and Tesla specifically. And then, of course, we will also have our Monday morning program after the bell program tomorrow morning on Tuesday, as usual, about 7:10 California time. So, all right. Oh, yes. One last thing. Eventually, later on in the program, at the very end, I will talk to you a little bit more about this and how much it costs and where you can get it, because it's very cool. So anyway, all right. So right now we are licking our collective wounds because we've just seen the stock drop from 300 down to around 212 and then back up to 250. And you know, what's happening with those dumb folks making those investment decisions about Tesla and all those other companies that they could possibly think Tesla is only worth $245 as of the Friday night close. Well, yes, but those same dummies have bid Tesla up way beyond any other car company and getting close to bidding it up higher than any other company in the world. So you and I can easily justify that. Are you kidding? We're shocked that Tesla isn't back well above 1 trillion in value, maybe even greater than that. I made the argument recently that because of their ROIC, because of their growth, et cetera, that they should be valued right now at $800 a share, because after all, their sales are double right now what they were. Sales, profits, everything are double what they were 2 years ago when they were valued at $410 a share. Now, I made that kind of tongue-in-cheek because when it was valued at $410 a share, that was kind of over the top with everything perfect. I mean, the risk on was there, interest rates were low, Tesla was firing on all cylinders, and everybody was go, 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 go. So getting back to double that, even though sales, earnings, and even prospects are more than double, yeah, that would be a real reach. But should it at least be back to all-time high? I'm projecting that by January it will be. So, but we're going to now take a look, though. Should Tesla be sitting comfortably at, right now, they're number 8 in terms of overall market cap. Should they actually be sitting comfortably at least at number 4 behind Apple, Microsoft, and Saudi Aramco? Well, getting to those numbers, getting to being the highest in the world in terms of sales and profits would almost certainly mean they be the highest in the world in terms of market cap. I mean, the cars are computers on wheels with a massive potential SaaS like Apple. They are an energy company with an unlimited TAM like Aramco. Aramco doesn't even have an unlimited TAM. They've reached peak oil or darn near peak oil. And when I say peak oil, I mean peak in terms of use. And of course, Tesla's an AI company with a massive potential future in computer-driven services like Microsoft, another company they would need to pass to get to number 4 on the list. Now, you drop down a few and you get to an insurance company like Berkshire. Well, Tesla has their own insurance company. So that doesn't even count something like humanoid robots, where nobody's in that business, and the TAM is going to be bigger than any of the others on the list. So what will be the driver of a market cap of 3 trillion or more? Elon says he sees a path to 6 trillion, the combined value of Apple and Saudi Aramco. So let's get going. When will we get there? Well, at the most fundamental level, we need to have a present value that can be derived from some future value discounted to the present. So what future value can we put on Tesla, and then how much discount? 5 years, a lot of people say, let's look 5 years out. What will the value be then? Some say 3, some say 10. There's all kinds of different ways that people come to these valuations. I've seen one recently that was 20 years out for Tesla. To make matters more complicated, the present value formula also depends on the interest rate. So the higher the interest rate, the lower the present value given the same future earnings. So you're paying now for future earnings, but you would have to pay interest if you buy the company today and you pay, let's say you bought it all for, you took a loan to pay the entire amount, you have to pay interest on that loan in order to get back to the earnings that you anticipated 5 years from now. So if the interest is high, it's much harder to get there. Therefore, you're going to pay less for the company at this point in time. Well, some folks don't want to do that much math. So they assign a PE to the current earnings, a price to earnings ratio to the current earnings, or possibly to the next 12-month earnings, or possibly to next year's total earnings in order to come up with some kind of a projection that makes sense to them. Now, the PE is usually some number around a growth rate formula, which is an inversion of the PEG. Okay, so to simplify it, a company with 10% growth should have a PE around 10. If they have 20% growth, they should have a 20 PE. If they have 50% growth, a 50 PE, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that's a very, very rough figure because like all the other formulas that we just talked about, if you have higher interest rates, then the PE is going to be lower. If you have lower interest rates, the PE is going to be higher. If you have more risk on, the PE is going to be higher. If you have risk off, the PE is going to be lower. So it's a rough figure. So Tesla has a current PE of 73. It's a pretty darn good PE. And it's unlikely that the market believes that Tesla will grow 73% per year into the future. So you could say, oh, Tesla's overvalued. Well, however, you can look at the forward earnings rate for 2024, where the street is projecting 16, not projecting 24, 26. But anyway, the street's projecting 16. That would get us very, very close to the 50% that most folks are probably figuring for revenue and earnings growth. So therefore, now you can see around why the stock should be in this trading range of 200 to 300. I expect Tesla to grow about 50% in revenue next year and a bit more than that in profit. That's assuming, however, there's no robots or taxis or humanoids, et cetera, et cetera. So you can make an argument that Tesla is fairly valued right now. Or you could say, as I have, that Tesla is extremely undervalued when you consider the real and likely potential of FSD, robotaxis, Optimus, semi-trucks, and other divisions. In other words, Tesla might be fairly valued based on just the sexy cars plus the CT and then the energy storage business, but probably even then, not quite, because that depends on the actual mega factory groundbreakings, which if there's as many as we think there's going to be, then I think you'd already have to be valuing Tesla at around 350. But it's close enough for the 200 to 300 range and or the 350, which I've been talking about. Now, I think it's going to go back to all-time high at the end of January, but now that will be taking into consideration 2025 earnings. Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. If I'm going too fast or if you've lost me, ask questions in the comments and I'll do a follow-up if necessary. Also, tell me where I'm completely wrong on any of this. Maybe I've completely blown it. All right. As interest rates drop, the PE will also increase. As the market gets more risk on, there's also going to be higher PE for Tesla, just like happened in 2019, 2020, 2021. All right. Back to the question at hand. When will Tesla become number one in these various categories? Let's go ahead and grab my screen and share it. All right, so we will start with revenue. As you can see here, Walmart is number one. I hope this is large enough. Walmart is number one in revenue with 622 billion. Amazon is next with 538. Saudi Aramco at 535. Sinopec at 484. PetroChina 462. Berkshire Hathaway 401. Apple 383, etc. You'll go all the way down to number 72. I'm sorry, 82. 82 for revenue. Yes, I think it's 82 for revenue, where Tesla is sitting right now at about 100 billion into this year. Now they'll rapidly go up this line. As you can see, ExxonMobil is only at 113. So I would say next year, it's very likely that Tesla will pass ExxonMobil in 2024, maybe even early 2024, going past that 100. I'm sorry, that's 364. Let's back up. I might do that part over. So Tesla at roughly 100 billion in total revenues will be going up that list from 82 very, very quickly. It will probably take them until, again, you got to take into consideration no robotaxi, no FSD, and no Optimus. But just with cars, the Cybertruck, energy storage, and of course the semi-truck, getting to the Volkswagen level. Okay, Volkswagen, I made it squeeze in here. I was trying to get it smaller and smaller, but I knew you wouldn't be able to see it. But Volkswagen's at 321. So Tesla has to triple to get to Volkswagen's revenue levels. But once they're at that level, it's pretty quick how they go up the rest of the list. So I'm going to say by 2027, without robotaxi, without FSD, and without Optimus, they will pass Volkswagen and probably be moving up this list very rapidly, and possibly even, depending on the number of mega factories that are built, they could pass Walmart in 2027. Now, if you add in even FSD, they're going to move up the list a huge amount faster. But then if you add robotaxi, the numbers get crazy, because you're talking about $6,000, let's say, in revenue and probably profit. We'll talk about that in a minute, but $6,000 in revenue per vehicle per year. So you got a million vehicles, you got 6 billion in revenue. And then if you get 2 million and then 3 million, and it's cumulative. So maybe the first year you have 2 million. The second year you have maybe 4 million. The next year you have 6 million. I mean, the numbers just get crazy fast. Then if you put on top of that, you get, I'm sorry, that's robotaxi. Then if you put Optimus on top of it, now you're talking about 60 billion or 60,000 revenue per, that's my guess, okay, based on $60,000 a year rental on Optimus. That would, for a million of those robots, you're talking about $60 billion in revenue per year. You see what I'm talking about, why Optimus is so important? It's just crazy numbers. And that 60 billion in revenue is probably 50 billion in profit. So anyway, you begin to get the idea here, how quickly Tesla will move up the ranks of having the most revenue. And it will depend heavily on when these three products come to market. Now let's get rid of this one and we'll go on to earnings. You can see that Tesla right now at about 15 billion in revenues, does not make it in the top 11. You can see what kind of companies do. And you got a lot of energy companies, you've got a lot of computer companies, a lot of advertising, internet companies, etc. Anyway, Tesla is, again, depending, if you just take into consideration the four automobiles, even counting the Gen 3 automobiles and the Cybertruck and the semi-truck, the stuff that we know is going to happen and going to start ramping, and then energy, you're probably going to get Tesla up to about 25 billion in profits next year, maybe 45 to 50 the next year. So now you begin to see here it hits shell, and then it moves up rapidly and gets up to the Berkshire Apple, range, 112 billion. Again, probably 2027, maybe 2026, maybe 2027, depending, again, mostly on that energy ramp. Oh, and the semi ramp. That's going to be huge if they ramp the semis as fast as I hope they will. Okay, but now add in full self-drive, add in FSD. even at 12,000, even if they only charge 12,000 to everybody that wants it, or 2,400 a year for the subscription, and you start multiplying that times millions, oh my gosh, it just goes crazy. And now if you throw in robotaxis, which that $6,000 a year that I was talking about a minute ago is almost pure profit. I mean, that was the profit. I mean, that was basically Tesla's take on the robotaxi business, not counting their own fleet. Okay, now you add in Optimus at $50 billion a year of profit for 1 million robots out there, and then 2 million, and then 3, and oh my goodness, it wouldn't take any time at all. That's, again, you begin to see why the numbers go crazy once we get those products online. Now let's look at the last number, and that is market cap. So Tesla, of course, is already sitting here at number 8 at 777 billion. They've been as high as a little over 1, so about where NVIDIA is now. Again, I'm saying that it goes back to all-time high, so hits NVIDIA's number maybe in the end of the first quarter of next year. I'm putting the price at 700 by the end of next year, and so 700 will be about 2 trillion. So now you're looking at just right around here, number 4. Now, to get to Apple's numbers, you need to have the understanding that about how fast the company is going to grow, as well as what the real profits are. So you would need to see the margins going back up. You need to see risk on. You would need to see interest rates dropping a bit, etc. But you could be at Apple's numbers easily by the end of 2025, not counting Robotaxi, not counting Optimus, not counting FSD. Throw any one of those into the mix. As soon as the market believes that FSD is real, Tesla, it would only be a matter of months, not that many months, because Robotaxi is also, I mean, as soon as FSD is true, Robotaxi is true. As soon as the market is able to start multiplying that out and giving it some kind of a reasonable estimate of what the take rate will be on FSD when it actually works 100%, and what the rollout could look like in terms of robotaxis, then Tesla, it could happen. I'm saying that the earliest possible time is late 2024 if FSD was to be solved this year. So then late 2024, early 2025, you would pass Apple in terms. Now that you only have to get to 1,000. The stock only has to get to 1,000 to pass Apple in market cap. And so most people think that once Robotaxi becomes real, you're talking about at least 1,500 on the stock. And then if you're talking about Optimus being real, as soon as, if the market can see the Optimus doing real work, and if they believe my figure that it's going to rent out for $50,000, $60,000 a year minimum, I mean, they can charge so much more. I'm thinking that's what they're going to charge. If the market believes that, then I can't even guess what the value of the stock will be. So there you go. I hope that was useful, informative, beneficial to you in some way. If it is, hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify in order to be reminded about tomorrow night. And then earlier this morning, I'm going to put a card right here. I did have the conversation with Larry where we talked about valuing Tesla stock, even in lesser circumstances, even in normal circumstances, and also how to play it, how to play the market in general, and how to play Tesla. Lots and lots of people loved that one. It was a very well-received episode this morning, and I'll put the card up. Now then, you want this. You know your friends want it. You know your brother would like one. Your sister might even want one. She's waiting for her Cybertruck to come. Your employees, you need one of these for your outside kitchen. You need one of these for your cooler. You need one of these for the cabin. You need one of these. I even started using it to open boxes yesterday. It's not sharp. It's the thickness of the actual Cybertruck. Can you see that? It is made out of stainless, the same as the Cybertruck. It is the thickness of the Cybertruck, same gauge. And it's just a fun product. It's like 7 ounces. You could use it as a paperweight. Oh yeah, nobody has to wait on paper anymore, right? Because we don't use paper anymore. Well, okay, but you could use it as a something that you would hang up on the wall. You literally could hang it on the wall. You could put it in a shadow box. I mean, there's a million different ways you could use this. Of course, it's designed to go on your refrigerator. It's got a magnet on the back, and it's got this cool little thing to open up bottles. By the way, okay, it's 25 bucks. I mean, it's so inexpensive. I thought it was going to be so much more. I've had people ordering 3, 4 at a time because it's just so inexpensive. And what a great gift. And it comes in this super nice gift box. I mean, how much nicer does it get than this gift box here? It is like an Apple box. You know, you get the Apple in all those beautiful boxes. So you see, it's got the magnetic clip on it. Yeah. And by the way, it also comes in a irregular, you don't have to get the camo. In fact, the orders right now are running more strongly on the non-camo or the stainless steel, the pure stainless steel version. Yeah, anyway, there you go. You send the 25 bucks to my PayPal. Put the information down below in the description, or you can join Patreon. You can still get one of the books for free for a $5 Patreon. You can get 2 books for free if you join at the $10 level. And it's not just those 2, it's also the Making Money Out of Thin Air and the When Friday Isn't Payday books. Those are also available as part of that deal. You get those for joining at the $5 or $10 level. In order to get please get this straight. If you join Patreon, $10, you have to join at the $10 level. I've had a couple of people that have sent me the $10 in PayPal. No, if you want to join Patreon, you need to do that through Patreon. The information is down below in the description. You click on that, you go to Patreon, you join Patreon at the $10 level, then you get the truck. If you don't want to join Patreon, you just want to buy 17 or 20 of these for all your best friends and neighbors, or 1, then you need to send that money, $25 to Patreon. If you're outside the country, you have an address outside the country, add another $20, period. If you buy 1 or 500, just add 20 bucks and we'll send those out of the country. I need the $20 to pay for the DHL. Okay. So you would send on 1, you would send $45. All right. I think that's all we got for you today. Let me stop sharing the screen and let me say it's been great talking to you.